Hey, it's Vicky, and today I'm here to chat about upcoming releases that I am interested in. So these are going to be books that are coming out in October, November, December that are kind of on my radar that have piqued my interest and I'm thinking about checking out. So let's dive right in. So the first release that I am excited about, and this is one that I likely will purchase because I really enjoy this author, and that is Celeste Ng's new book, Our Missing Hearts. This one comes out on October 4th, and like I said, she's kind of becoming an auto-buy author for me. I really enjoyed both of the books I read by her. And this one deals with a young boy who is basically on a quest for finding his mother, who abandoned him when he was like 9 years old. And she was a poet, and his father is a librarian at Harvard. And I guess it's supposed to be about seeking knowledge and how art and knowledge can kind of create change, because there's also a lot of like socio-political things going on throughout the story as well. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it had Celeste Ng's name on it, so I was like, yeah, I'm reading that. The next book that I am interested in reading comes out on October 18th. It's a nonfiction book called Newsroom Confidential: Lessons and Worries from an Ink-Stained Life by Margaret Sullivan. And this is, I guess, kind of part memoir. Margaret Sullivan is a journalist, and she, I believe about 10 years ago, became an editor at the New York Times. And so she's been in the business a long time. And so the book kind of talks about her beginnings, how she got to the New York Times, and she talks a lot about the media, which to me is an interesting topic. I went to college to be a journalist, and so the profession, even though I don't actively work in that profession and haven't for a while, it is still something that I'm interested in, and I want to read the book. And then the last October release that I am interested in comes out also on October 18th, and it is George Saunders' new short story collection called Liberation Day. And this one I decided I want to read because I have read two things by George Saunders. I read Fox 8, which was kind of like a short little story, and then I read a short story collection of his called 10th of December, I believe it was called, and I really enjoyed that collection. I was like pleasantly surprised by it. I really liked the sort of humor that was in a lot of the stories and kind of the just sort of quirkiness of it. And so I am definitely interested in checking out a new short story collection by him. I don't know like anything about what any of the stories are. I think I read somewhere there's like 9 or 10 stories in the book, but I definitely want to check it out. The next book that I'm interested in checking out this fall comes out on November 1st, and it is called The Quarry Girls by Jess Lowry. And this one piqued my interest because I read somewhere that it is based on true events, and I don't know anything about those true events, but I'm sure I will do some digging when I read the book. But it takes place in the 1970s in Minnesota, and it centers around two friends who are just sort of like enjoying their summer, and then one night they see something I'm assuming like sinister, something bad going on, and they decide to keep it a secret. They aren't going to tell anybody what they saw, and you don't really know either as the reader just yet what they saw. And then a friend of theirs goes missing, disappears, and they start to kind of get scared that whatever they saw that night is somehow connected to this disappearance. And so it has like a mystery aspect, and it seems like maybe like not necessarily true crime, but because it is inspired by true events, it just sounds interesting to me. I tend to like books like that that take things that have actually happened and make like a fictional story surrounding it. So I definitely want to check it out. The next book I want to read, I had no idea was happening until I started looking into like books that were coming out in the fall. This one comes out on November 8th, and it is Gleanings by Neal Shusterman, which is book 3.5 in the Arc of the Scythe series. And yeah, I had no idea this was happening. I think it's like a short story collection, and I've only read the first book in this series, but I really really enjoyed it, and I want to read the rest of the series. I just didn't know that there was going to be a 3.5. So yeah, I definitely can't read this one until I read the rest of the books in the series. But I thought it was stopping at book 3, and I was wrong. So yeah, once I get those 2 books read, I will definitely be checking out Gleanings. And then the last book coming out in November that I am interested in is Michelle Obama's new book. It's called The Light We Carry: Overcoming in Uncertain Times. It comes out on November 15th. And this one I want to read because I really enjoyed her memoir, Becoming. I thought it was very inspiring. I think that Michelle Obama as a woman is she's very inspiring. She's so smart, she's so kind, she has, you know, so many experiences, and I love that she is writing another book. And so this one I feel like it's just going to be one of those books that yeah, it's just chock full of like wisdom and maybe a little bit of advice, and that's fine because you know, the last couple years have been tough. And I think as a world, we have been dealing with a lot, and I think a book like this is kind of just what we need. So I will definitely be reading that one. And then the last book that I want to mention for this video comes out in December. There weren't a ton of books coming out in December, and I find that that is kind of how it is every year. December is just not a big publishing time. But this one did kind of pique my interest. It comes out on December 27th, and it is called All the Dark Places by Terry Parlato. And this is a mystery thriller about a wife who is married to a psychologist, and one winter evening they're having like a party. I believe it's like a birthday party for her husband, and everything's going great. He's very well liked, lots of people there, everybody has a good time. And then she gets up in the morning and she finds her husband dead in the house, and he has been murdered. So she's trying to figure out who would do this and why. And it takes place in the winter, I think in like Massachusetts. So I feel like this would be a great book to kind of cozy up with in the wintertime and read. And I do enjoy like mysteries and things like that when it's wintertime. So especially if they're set at wintertime. So yeah, this one sounds pretty good and I want to check it out. All right, so those are just a few books that I am kind of having on my radar for the fall and start of winter, basically through the end of the year. Let me know down below if any of these books are on your TBR, or if there are any that you think I should know about, because that's all important. I want to know if I missed anything good. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I will chat with you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.